Okay, in this video we're talking about getting them to open the door and how I basically sold them on what it is that I'm selling long before they've opened the door. If you're working for a company, if it's a large company, you're more than likely going to have some sort of logo or identification that gives them some idea in terms of the fact that you work for this company and that this is the reason why they need to open the door, because that company is either currently doing business with them or because they recognize the name of that company. And that's a strategy that you can use by having the garments on that they are familiar with. Sometimes this can work against you because they know you're with AT&T and they feel like you're selling something and they don't want to have anything to do with it. I'm going to give you a strategy to get around that if you're working with AT&T or some other company, and or to get around if you're not working with a large company and put them in a position whereby they will open the door for you and provide you with the information that you need that moves towards the sale. I'm going to focus this specifically on home improvements though. And one of the strategies that I utilized was that we had a notebook that we carried information in terms of what it was that we were offering and basically what the idea was behind us knocking on doors to do our presentation. This was a notebook that on the outside of the notebook there was a logo of the Southern California Gas Company on this particular marketing material that we had provided. And so what I found was that when I knocked on the door and I made it possible for them to see this logo that the Southern California Gas Company was potentially the people that was knocking on their door. Of course, we were not Southern California Gas Company. That this, I didn't say that we were. As a matter of fact, I clarified along the way that we were not. But this got them to open the door because they thought to themselves, it's the gas company. As a matter of fact, oftentimes I have people knock on the door. When I knocked on the door, they would open the door and they would say, "Can I speak to you a moment?" And I would say, "Sure." And they would pull me off to the side, maybe into the garage and say, next to their home, and they would say, I thought I mailed in the bill this morning. Is there anything that we can do to stop you from cutting off my gas at this point? And of course, I would begin to explain to them that that's not why I'm here. But the idea was that when they saw what they saw, it was enough to prompt them to open up the door so that I could engage in a conversation with them. Now, there are some do's and don'ts in terms of this, and that we'll cover in an intermediate training, being the do's and don'ts of when they see what it is that they see that compel them to open the door. If you're knocking on doors for a living and you cannot get your client to open the door or your potential client to open the door, you are dead in the water. There's no way that you're going to set an appointment at the door. There's no way that someone's going to come and make a sale. All of that's gone. But if you can get them to knock on the door, then you have taken the first step to moving them from a place of listening to what you have to say to potentially being someone that you're going to sell. And so what I'm going to do in this next video is I'm going to go into some of the key things that I use in order to get them to a point where not only do they not, where they actually open the door, but I'm going to deal with the 3 to 5 second window, which I have basically bridged before I got them to open the door. I'm going to deal with the 3 to 5 second window of communication that has to be provided to them, along with some other strategies that not only gets them to listen to what it is that I'm talking about, but the mindset that you need to be in when they open that door, especially for that critical 3 to 5 seconds and beyond, that moves them to a position where you can begin to set the appointment. And we'll talk about that in our next video.